It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. It is those who know little, and not those who know much, who so positively assert that this or that problem will never be solved by science. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble by us, and I, for one, must be content to remain an agnostic. It is not possible to predict the future, but it is possible to invent it. The highest possible stage in moral culture is when we recognize that we ought to control our thoughts. An American monkey, after getting drunk on brandy, would never touch it again, and thus is much wiser than most men. Man tends to increase at a greater rate than his means of subsistence. I love fools' experiments. I am always making them. The love for all living creatures is the most noble attribute of man. Charles Darwin. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. Courage is knowing what not to fear. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. Ignorance, the root and stem of all evil. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Plato. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn. The eyes are the windows of the soul. The function of wisdom is to discriminate between good and evil. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. The greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Laws are silent in times of war. A room without books is like a body without a soul. Cicero. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. Silence is a source of great strength. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Lao Tzu. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. The only way to deal with fear is to face it head on. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Marcus Aurelius.